Hello everyone. You've probably heard at some point that humans have explored only about 5% of the world's oceans. This means it's possible that, somewhere in the depths, there are giant sharks, saber-tooth, and squids, and a host of other terrifying creatures, and this is the kind of thing that could really only happen underwater. After all, humans have been studying the rest of the planet for a long time, and practically every animal has already been cataloged. Yet, even after so many years of research, the world never ceases to surprise us with its mysteries. Today, we're going to talk about 10 lost places on our planet, and the inhabitants that have often astonished even scientists. Let's get started. Mount Roraima. You've likely seen photos of this mountain. It is truly impressive with its steep slopes and a nearly perfect flat top. Clouds constantly surround Mount Roraima, creating the sensation that you're at the edge of the world, where 3 elephants or a giant turtle might suddenly appear down below. But this mountain stands out for more than just its unusual appearance and its height, which reaches 2,810 meters. Here, scientists have discovered a large number of plants and animals found nowhere else on the planet. There are rumors that some researchers even found a living carbon-based wanderer, a long horse-headed snake, as well as the remains of ancient creatures. It remains a mystery how they ended up in such a high place. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to verify whether these stories are true, but we are certain that fans of the unusual would appreciate Roraima. For instance, there is a small black creature that can neither fly nor swim as it is found only here. Yet when faced with danger, it simply curls into a ball and quickly slides into the nearest hiding spot. Meanwhile, scientists from James Cook University, along with a team from National Geographic, decided to investigate the fauna of Cape Melville in northern Australia. While the lower reaches of the area had been exhaustively analyzed by biologists, no one had ever climbed to the mountain peaks to see what lay within that tropical jungle. Exploring Australian forests might not seem like the safest idea, especially considering the country's reputation for venomous animals, but no horror stories about giant spiders could stop this team of scientists. They soon arrived in a new, unknown world upon reaching the plateau's summit. To their surprise, they discovered remarkable animal species in the dense forest. They are not found anywhere else in the world due to the inaccessibility of this forest. Lizards, frogs, and other animals have lived in the mountains for millennia, completely isolated from the rest of the world, and were thus able to evolve into entirely new species. One hopes that human intervention will not affect the way of life of the plateau's inhabitants, and that they will continue to develop as they please. Cima Rambod. On another inaccessible plateau located in Venezuela, there are several sinkholes, but the largest and most impressive of them is Cima Rambod. It was discovered only in 1961, much later than other unusual features on our planet. It is hard to believe, but the depth of this hole is 314 meters. That's right, over 300 meters of nearly vertical walls covered in vegetation that seems to slide down them. The hole is so vast that a unique ecosystem, featuring a variety of plants unknown to science, has emerged within it over time incidentally. Scientists call these organisms endemic, meaning they live in a limited area and are found nowhere else in the world. Indeed, the hole itself looks like a portal to another, completely unknown dimension, the Scotia Sea. Now we move from the mountains and various types of terrain to the seabed, to a depth of 2,400 meters in the Southern Ocean, where a unique site exists. Researchers discovered it in 2012. Unlike the surrounding waters, which are considered quite cold, this small area is heated by hydrothermal vents. Consequently, temperatures there reach up to 400 degrees Celsius. Just imagine how hot that place is, especially given that Antarctica is right nearby. It was there that scientists discovered huge colonies of various creatures previously unknown to science. Despite the depth, the lack of light, and the high temperatures, these underwater inhabitants seem quite comfortable, reproducing at a simply incredible rate. For instance, this is exactly where the Yeti crab was found. It uses the fur on its claws to cultivate special bacteria that clean toxic waters. Yes, it is a deep-sea crab. Do you still doubt that nature is capable of surprises? Mountains on Palau Island. During an expedition to the remote territory of Palau in the Philippines, mysterious plants were discovered atop the local mountains. They didn't look like anything from our world, naturally drawing the keen attention of scientists. After careful study, it was discovered that most of these plants are carnivorous. Well, you might be thinking, what's wrong with that? You can even buy such flowers in stores and keep them as pets. The thing is, the carnivorous plants found on Palau are so large that they don't just feed on butterflies and insects, but on rodents and even small monkeys. Pink ferns and blue mushrooms also grow in these mountains, species that remain a mystery to scientists. It is likely that no one in their right mind would live inside a volcano's crater. However, if its last eruption occurred 200,000 years ago, the volcano might well have transformed into a lush, foliage-covered forest, making it a potentially suitable place to live. This is exactly what happened with the Bosavi volcano in New Guinea, which was studied in 2009 during the filming of a BBC documentary. On the hardened lava of this extinct giant, researchers found many animals isolated from the outside world. Over the course of their evolution, the film crew identified more than 40 previously unknown species, including a genuine giant rat. No, we aren't kidding. These rats exist and occur naturally in the wild, without the influence of radiation or mutagenic substances. The giant rodent that was captured measured 82 centimeters in length and weighed 1.5 kilograms. Surprisingly, most of the volcano's inhabitants, despite being isolated from the rest of the world, showed no fear of human contact. In 1986, during a series of geological surveys, typically conducted before the construction of a power plant, an entire cave system was discovered at a depth of about 18 meters. It was completely sealed off, resulting in unique internal conditions. Fed by groundwater, the cave possessed not only its own ecosystem, but also its own atmosphere, which differed significantly from the air outside. Remarkably, this discovery was made not in some remote, little-studied tropical region, but in Romania, not far from the Black Sea coast. Naturally, such a discovery could not go uninvestigated. And they soon discovered that the cave formed about 5 million years ago and had been completely isolated from the outside world for at least the last 500,000 years. Naturally, the ecosystem within such conditions was quite unique. Scientists found 3 types of living organisms never seen before, including arthropods, leeches, and mollusks. All of them were completely blind, navigating via touch and smell, and detecting even the slightest vibrations in the surrounding rock, air, and water. We can only hope that the arrival of people with drilling rigs and other tools didn't cause too much stress for these unique creatures. Now, we're heading to the ocean depths once more. Our list wouldn't be complete without mentioning the Mariana Trench. Its deepest point is known as the Challenger Deep, extending more than 11,000 meters below sea level. That means if you placed Mount Everest inside the Challenger Deep, its peak wouldn't even be visible from the surface. Despite the constant absolute darkness of the Challenger Deep, it harbors one of the most incredible ecosystems on our planet. We used to think life would be scarce at such depths. After all, there's no sunlight. But just as in the Scotia Sea, hydrothermal vents play a crucial role. They heat the water to 450 degrees Celsius, yet it doesn't boil due to the immense pressure, 155 times greater than at the surface. But if you think we're about to scare you with terrifying toothy bioluminescent fish, you're mistaken. Alongside those fearsome creatures, giant amoebas, measuring over 10 centimeters, have also been found at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Compared to them, common amoebas are very small creatures and never exceed 0.5 millimeters, but apparently the high temperature and pressure, along with the lack of sunlight, did a good job. Or perhaps someone forgot to tell the deep-dwelling amoebas that they were supposed to stay tiny. Do you want to see the world's largest cave? Hang Son Doong is located in Vietnam and was discovered in 2009 by British scientists. In fact, locals had known about the cave's existence for a long time, but they were afraid to approach it because of the strange noise coming from within. Unfortunately, we're going to disappoint those who love fantastic tales. The whistling sound was nothing more than the noise of an underground river flowing inside the cave. The largest chamber in Hang Son Doong is 5 kilometers long, 200 meters high, and 150 meters wide. If those numbers don't mean much to you, let's put it this way. The place bypassed standard evolutionary paths, forming a variety of unique species. Research on the lake is far from over. Who knows what other surprises might be found at the bottom? Folks, it's time to put your brains to work. Check out the Brinko Time channel. You'll find plenty of useful, interesting facts and entertaining content there. Subscribe. We promise it'll be fascinating. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video on your social media. We'll be back with you soon.